On this episode of the Nerdiest podcast, we're going full speed ahead and talking about Epic the Musical. So keep your friends close and stay tuned to hear what we have to say. Hello and welcome to the Nerdiest Podcast, the show where nerds talk about nerdy things. I'm your host with the most, who's always sleep-deprived, Mr. Nick Barrett. And as always, I'm joined by my co-host, my ride or die, Mr. Jackson Glass. And after 12 long years, and by years, I mean months, I convinced Jackson to listen to Epic the Musical, which has been my little musical brain rot. Not even brain rot, because it's actually good. For the past year and a half.
It's been your earworm. It's been your earworm.
There we go. That's a better way to put it.
Yeah.
And I was like, Jackson, you got to listen to it. Jackson, you got to listen. It's so good. It's so good. And then at the beginning of the year, I said, oh, okay, if we do an episode on Epic, I'll do an episode on Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey.
Yeah.
Because, like, I'm not a big Christopher Nolan fan. Like, The Odyssey, I was like, it's lacking that whimsy. Like,
right.
The whimsy that Epic has. And he was like, all right, deal. Shake on it.
Right.
So, here we are doing an episode on Epic the Musical after making Jackson listen to it. And we got a lot of fun stuff planned. We're going to do a favorite song draft to kick things off here. We're going to talk about our thoughts on the musical, give you some background, because maybe you're one of our loyal listeners who's never listened to Epic before. So don't worry, we'll give you a little background on what the musical is, what it's all about, why you should go listen to it as well. And then we're going to end things off with a tier list. With a Saga tier list, so stay tuned for that.
Excited.
But before any of that, Jackson, how have you been?
I'm good. I'm very good. I'm happy to be here. Happy to be recording. I actually went and saw the Odyssey yesterday as time of recording on release day. And you know what? Here's my quick review, because the review of the Odyssey will be on the Nerdiest After Show. Whoa! Oh my gosh! But I'm not on the Nerdiest After Show. Well, you could be. For a mere $5 a month, you could help us keep the lights on and become a YouTube member, or a member on Apple Podcasts. That's a new thing we just opened up. So if you're an Apple Podcast and you're not really in the YouTube space, you can go to Apple Podcasts and become a subscriber. For a mere $5 a month, you get an extra episode of the Nerdiest Podcast, the Nerdiest After Show, if you will. That's super exciting. So I'll give you my brief thoughts. You got to go see it. I think it's going to end up being one of the biggest movies of the year. Just because it's one of those movies where you sit there, especially as someone that has made short films and has been in the filmmaking world a little bit, you sit there and watch the final product and you just don't even understand. Like, what was step one for the Odyssey? You see these set pictures of, like, they're on the big IMAX camera and they're in these huge locations, and insane. It's just insane. It's one of those, it's a classic Christopher Nolan spectacle movie where you're just like, how did we even get here? It is a feat of filmmaking. And here's what else, spoiler free, no spoilers. What I'll say is, I did not expect Christopher Nolan to make a Bronze Age John Wick film with 50-something-year-old Matt Damon at the center. But man, that's what we got. Also, I might make a reel about this, so if I reuse this joke, don't blame me. The whole movie kind of feels like it's in a Fortnite lobby, because you're like, oh, hey, Travis Scott, Tom Holland, Zendaya, what are you doing here? Anne Hathaway? And it's like the Bronze Age, but it's like, oh, that's so clearly friggin' Matt Damon. Like, it's like the randomest assortment of people. I thought it was so funny. But also one of the best roles Tom Holland has ever been in, I will say.
Really?
I think that he finally got some, like, serious he got to do some serious action instead of being, Spider-Man, like, that kind of Marvel-y action. I feel like he finally got, like, some justice to do something cool. So, and also, Tom Holland being Matt Damon and Anne Hathaway's son is maybe one of the funniest things that's ever happened in history. So they cast Tom Holland as their son, and then right next to him is Tom Holland's wife, Zendaya, who is Athena. That shows their dynamic. That is the most, like, this the most characterization of who they are is they're like, Tom Holland, you get to play this 18-year-old kid. And then they're like, Zendaya, you get to play this goddess that just kind of stands around. And you know what? Zendaya's starting to get typecast as mythical figure in a hood that kind of stands around every once in a while. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. Give her another role. Anyway, that is my quick review of the Odyssey. You could be a YouTube member and listen to the full review.
And hear more.
Really good stuff there. And while you're here, follow us on Instagram at The Nerdiest Podcast, on Twitter at The Nerdiest Podcast, and on YouTube at The Nerdiest Podcast. All the links are in the description for that. So, Mr. Nick, I think it's time for a draft.
Wow, thanks for asking me how I am.
Hey, how are you?
Wow. I get it.
Wow.
It's fine. You don't care. We've only been podcasting together.
Wow.
For 7 years, I get it. Anyway,
I mean, it's whatever.
I'm good.
At some point, you go stale, and you just, you don't even need to.
Yeah,
those relationships where like you meet up and you're just like, all right, what are we doing?
What's up, man? What are we doing?
Oh, how are you?
No, I don't have a ton going on. I said,
do you want to do a weekly recap? And you said, no, I'm good. I got nothing to say.
It's
and then
not
I skip
even
your
a
weekly recap and you get mad.
You just didn't even ask me how I was. Anyway, I'm good. I don't really have much to report. Just working on content. I am like so close to finishing this project I've been working on that I don't want to say too much about yet. Jackson knows what it is.
Yeah.
I'm like so close, and once I finish it, then I can tell you guys. But
I'm excited.
I'm close. And running. Hey, go follow us on the podcast Twitter. I'm cooking up some bangers there.
He's doing some good stuff there.
We are absolutely obliterating the crap out of Sony over their physical media stuff. Been posting a lot of physical media, seeing a lot of cool collections over there as well. So that's all I have. I felt compelled to share.
Sweet. Thank you for sharing. And this is a safe space where you can share those
I would hope
things.
So.
Unless you say something wrong, and then I will attack you.
Then you're banned.
And then you're stupid.
Idiot.
So, not unlike the Roar of Troy, it's time to draft. It's
the Trojan horse.
Also say, love a good horse movie. Love a good horse film. If you know anything about me, I love horses. Big horse guy. Is this like a horse? Like, if you're thinking about the Odyssey, like, as a story, is this like the male equivalent of like being a horse girl, like loving the Odyssey?
No.
I'd also like to say, because I feel like this is happening, is now that the Odyssey is like trending, everyone's like, yeah, did you know this is an adaptation of the Odyssey? And I'm like, sorry, I didn't realize my right toenail was an adaptation of the Odyssey. Like, everything is the Odyssey, apparently.
We could have done so many different jokes about the Odyssey.
No, literally.
So, we're here to talk about the Odyssey. What are your thoughts on Super Mario Odyssey?
Right.
Or what are your thoughts on the SpongeBob movie?
The SpongeBob movie. They're like, did you know that the SpongeBob movie is an adaptation of the Odyssey?
Did you read the book?
And they're like,
no.
Well, no, but I had to read it in college, so ChatGPT read the book to me. And now that I have a degree,
isn't that just
I
called
will
an
admit
audiobook?
to that. No, it is definitely not.
Oh, but dude, the audiobook is narrated by Ian McKellen.
See, I didn't.
At least
know
the one
that.
I checked out. The one I listened to part of it, and I was like,
it's kind of
there's
a
not
lot.
enough music, bro. Where's the songs?
I'll also say,
where's the guy saying, "I'm just a man"?
We'll do the draft in just a second. But I was in the theater watching the Odyssey, and it's a very serious film. Like, something would happen, and then in my head, I would just be like, Penelope. Penelope. But then, like, they'd be, like, getting murked, just, like, absolutely dead. And I'd be in my head being like, this life is amazing. Greeted with open arms. I'm like, oh, that's diabolical. Oh, man. So, yeah.
All right, the draft. As always, we must roll the almighty D20 to see who goes first.
I'm ready.
I don't have the physical dice. It's back there on the shelf. I forgot. So I'm rolling it on D&D Beyond. Would you like to be 1 through 10 or 11 through 20? I'll let you pick.
1 through 10.
1 through 10?
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Here we go. Roll it.
Ooh.
Uh, 11.
Oh.
Let's go.
All right. Are we doing 5 songs?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, stop. There we go. I paused our upload on Riverside.
Wow, you're crazy.
Okay, so I will go first, and then it'll just bounce back and forth. We don't have a third person to snake, so we're not going to do it. It just bounce back and forth. It's fine. All right, number 1. I'm taking, little spoiler, you didn't know this. I will be taking my favorite song from Epic the Musical.
Oh.
As my number 1 pick in the draft, No Longer You from the Underworld Saga.
Oh.
That song, straight banger. Topped my Spotify Wrapped last year by like a large margin.
That's crazy, dude.
It was like 120 plays, and the next one down was like 75. So, banger song. That's my overall first pick in the Epic song draft.
I'd long believed you're dead. Oh gosh, dude. That goosebumps.
It's a good one.
I will be, little spoiler, I will be picking my favorite song from Epic the Musical, which when I listened to this for the first time, I was kind of like, okay, like I get the vibe, it's there, but then this song came on and I was like, oh, so that's how it is, and that is Wouldn't You Like from the Circle Saga.
Circe Saga?
Circe Saga. The cover was a circle, so I got confused.
Fair enough.
Dude, that song, that's when it got into like a disco groove.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are we doing here? Like, this is crazy. And so every once in a while, I'll be at work and I'll just be like, wouldn't you like a taste of the power? Wouldn't you like to know what it was? Wouldn't you like? And I'm like, gosh, the swag on that song is like unreal. They did not have to put so much effort into that. Yeah.
It's anyway. A good one. All right, number two. Second overall draft pick is going to be my second favorite song.
Oh.
And that is the second song in the entire thing, and that is Just a Man.
I hate you.
That song is so good.
I cannot believe you took that.
I'll be walking around work and be like, when does a comet become a meteor? When does a candle become a blaze? And like, I've done that on the phone, and Maddie will look at me over the Discord screen and be like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, no, it's Epic the Musical. You don't know it.
Oh my god.
It's fine. God. So that's my second pick. Did I just steal one from you?
Yes. I'm gonna do, I don't know if this is would be on your list or not. One that was kind of a sleeper hit at first, but it's gotten stuck in my head enough to be like, okay, this is fire. And I will be choosing my number 2 pick as Luck Runs Out from the Ocean Saga.
Ooh, you did not take that one from me.
Yeah. I think that this one is just a really good earworm. Much longer till your luck runs out.
There's a video.
Much longer. And I'm just like, oh, that cadence hooked me, got stuck in my head. The ha da 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 da. I was like, golly, dude. Gosh, so good, so good.
I'll have to send you a video. There's one of the guy who sings Eurylochus.
Yeah.
And Jay doing the Macarena to that song while they're like singing to each other. It's so funny. All right. Number 3. I don't know if this one will be on your list. And every time I say that I like this song, everyone looks at me a little funny because they're like, are you okay? And I'm like, no, you got to trust me. Great song. Like, lyrically, technically, great song. What's happening in it, not so great. My number 3 pick is Hold Them Down from the Ithaca Saga. What's happening in that song, not great. That's bad.
Bad.
Overall, though, as a song, great song. Great vocals. It is a
really good song. That's near the end when you can tell they really figured out what they were doing.
Yeah,
like by the end they were locked in. Because the first few sagas you're like, oh, this is phenomenal, but then compared to the end you're like, okay, you can see how they had improved on what they were doing over the course of the whole project. All
right. Number 3.
I I don't know if I want to pick this one. I was back and forth on picking this one because originally I clowned this song. Um, I'll be honest, I did. But now, after like my second and third like listen through, I was like, gosh, this is a banger. Like I can't even fault it. So my number three pick would be "Open Arms" from the Troy Saga.
Ooh. All right.
I think that the vocals in that song are very impressive. Um, he hits those high notes really well. It's also like it kind of reminds me of those like the early 2000s Disney songs.
Yeah.
It had that vibe of like, this life is amazing. This whole episode's gonna be me trying to sing this thing, and I can't help it. Like, it's so good. That's my number three pick, "Open Arms."
All right, my number four pick, also from the Underworld Saga. Is going to be the hit song "Monster." That's another dude. It's such a good song, especially
really
at the end. I've like, it took me a while to learn the lyrics, so that I could do it, and I don't know how he did it, but I cannot do that whole like, I lost my best friend, I lost my mentor, my mom, like that whole all the way to the end where he's like,
dude.
And if I gotta drop an infant from a wall,
right? No, there's so much power.
I don't know how he did all that in like one breath. That is
so impressive,
incredible.
That's really good.
So that's my number four pick is "Monster."
Okay. This is difficult for me.
It is. I've got 4 extras in case you stole from me, and I'm like, oh, but they're all bangers. Oops, all bangers.
Oops, all bangers. I
should Photoshop that meme and just put like Odysseus' face on it.
I'm gonna say this is just one that has so much power, that pushes really well. From the Thunder Saga, "Different Beast."
Ooh, that is a good one. That is a good one.
That one just like rallies me to war.
Yeah.
I'm like, like that needs to go on my gym playlist. Like,
I think it's on my gym playlist.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, "Different Beast" is my number 4 pick.
Oh, okay. Well, my number 5 pick, you didn't steal any of the ones I thought you were going to.
Wow. That's crazy.
So, okay. What do I want for number 5? I'm so torn. You know what? No, I'm just going to trust my gut. Another one from the Underworld Saga, which puts the entire saga in my draft, is "The Underworld." That song, I turned that one on my way to work, and I'm like, driving to work, I'm like, Cersei's instructions were clear. No matter what we hear, full speed ahead.
Full speed ahead.
So that's my number 5 pick.
Wow.
I also think that song has such a, like, I know all of the songs are pretty story heavy. But I feel like that one has so much baked into it of like, well, now he's dealing with the guilt of all his crew dying, and then, Polites is dead, but then also like this is how he finds out his mom is dead, like, which is so like rough for him to then go into the rest of that saga, which is why I love that saga so much, but I'll talk about that later. So that's my number 5 pick.
That's a good pick. I'm really torn between 2. I'm kind of scrubbing through to decide. Okay. My number 5 pick is one that I also don't, where it's like, hey, what's happening is bad, but the song is really good. And that is the Wisdom Saga, "Love in Paradise."
Ooh, that is a good one.
And I think the common theme that you'll see through my picks is all that songs that I think would land on a playlist outside of Epic. The ones that are more musically just really good and really solid, and are, I don't want to say more listenable, but they're more ones that would sound like they would chart, if that makes sense. I don't want to be that guy that's like, I'm going to listen to the ones that sound like real songs, because that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm thinking like, what are songs that I would play out of the context of the story and still think that it was a banger? So my full draft for my favorite epic songs are Wouldn't You Like, Luck Runs Out, Open Arms, Different Beast, and Love in Paradise.
Wow. That's good. Mine is, but I lost my list because I was pulling up the next thing. Mine is No Longer You, Just a Man, Hold Them Down, Monster, and The Underworld, which is just 2 songs and then the Underworld Saga. So,
that's good. That's good.
So, are you ready to talk about?
I'm ready
Epic,
to talk about
the musical.
That kind of cued me up to have a conversation about it.
All right.
So I'm ready.
Before we talk about Epic the musical, for those who don't know,
Epic la musical.
Let me get you initiated in here. Catch you up to speed.
I'm ready.
I obviously would highly recommend you go listen to the whole thing. It's only 40 songs, about 2.5 hours, give or take. If you're a visual person, there are multiple animatic compilations on YouTube. If you want to like watch it instead of just listening to it, I would advise listening to it first, and then from there, going back and watching the animatics. That's what I did. So that way you can kind of like make your own like picture in your own head, and go from there. So, Epic the Musical is a musical adaptation of Homer's Odyssey, created by, oh gosh, I don't want to say his name wrong.
I can give it a shot if you want.
I'd go for it, man.
I will.
I don't want to say his name wrong.
I might say his name wrong, and I'm so sorry if I do. But I believe that is Jorge Rivera Herrans.
I think that's correct. For the rest of the episode, we will refer to him as Jay, as that is how he refers to himself on his social media.
Rivera Herrans.
That's
my shot.
Don't throw it away, man.
I am not throwing away. Sorry.
So this is some background. I learned this actually. I didn't know this. So Jay started working on the musical around June of 2019 for his senior thesis in college. He wanted to create a musical that was inspired by video games and anime to emulate their addictive sense of progression. He was heavily inspired by these media forms and references them throughout the musical. On January 17th, 2021, he uploaded his first video on TikTok where he introduced the musical by singing an older draft of Full Speed Ahead. He soon released other excerpts of songs from the musical and began to gather an audience.
That's cool.
Epic was originally going to be an adaptation of both the Iliad and the Odyssey, which ended up being a huge undertaking that did not work out.
Fair.
And he eventually decided to focus on the Odyssey since it has a wider cast in a variety of locations, although he has returned to work on a second musical titled Ilium since Epic's completion. So he is working on an adaptation of the Iliad. So he documented the development and progress of Epic through social media. His TikTok videos document his process as he goes through the songs, edits, and rewrites in 2 years.
That's very impressive.
Many of the songs in the musical went through extensive rewrites, with some songs being cut and others having been changed to better fit the story and characters. The final draft of the musical was completed in 2023. In 2023, he created his own company, Winion Entertainment LLC, following a legal battle between him and Blair Russell, the original producer of Epic, about who owned the copyright for the first 2 sagas.
Ooh.
Under his LLC, the entire main cast of Epic re-recorded the entire musical from scratch, allowing the entire show, including the previously released Troy and Cyclops sagas, to be under his ownership. This has also opened up new business ventures like merchandise and future iterations like a stage production or a film adaptation, which we do have a film adaptation on the books.
I'm excited.
But then he also released vinyls, CDs, jackets, and a limited edition box set with all of the vinyls done by the same people who did all of the different covers and stuff. So
that's super cool.
That's kind of a background on him.
Yeah.
As for the musical itself, it is a fully sung through musical consisting of 2 acts with 20 songs per act for a total of 40 songs. The musical is divided into 9 sagas, which is the Troy Saga, the Cyclops Saga, the Ocean Saga, the Circe Saga, the Underworld Saga, the Thunder Saga, the Wisdom Saga, the Vengeance Saga, and the Ithaca Saga. The entire musical has a runtime of 2 hours and 23 minutes. And Act 1 is an hour and 8 minutes, and then Act 2 is an hour and 14. So that's kind of the background on Epic. There was a lot of, honestly, here's the thing, and we can kind of use this, I guess, to segue into the next part here. Is it got a lot of success from TikTok.
Yeah.
And like the songs being used as TikTok shorts. And like, I remember before I even listened to it at all, I had heard bits of like No Longer You and Just a Man and Monster, like, and the Underworld, like, because people had been using them. Like, I think someone did like a Star Wars animatic reel with a section of the Underworld. And I was like, oh, that song kind of slaps. Hold on. Let me look this thing up. And I was like, Epic, the music. I don't know what that is. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
I honestly, I immediately assumed that it was a Broadway production.
Right.
Like, I was like, oh yeah, that's how we make musicals. Is this is Broadway? Okay, right. Cool. So that's where it got a lot of popularity to it. Now, before we pivot into our thoughts, do you think? And I just throw this out there for you. Do you think people need to know Greek mythology before listening to Epic the Musical? Or even have like an understanding of the Odyssey in general?
I would say no. I don't think you need it. I think that it certainly helps. Just because I think the Odyssey, because we've adapted it a million times. So we've done the Oh Brother Where Art Thou, we've done the, the everything. But I think that the story itself is actually very rich and very impressive, and it's been around for so long for a reason. But I think at the end of the day, it is very dense. It is a very dense, complex, deep, and emotional story. And so, of course, as much context as you can get going in, the more you'll understand, because you're like, oh yes, this is the Cyclops, this is the ocean, this is the, And I think that just Epic the Musical itself can't go into the deeper reasons behind things in the way that a movie could or a book could, just because there's no time. Like, you can't do that. So I think that they do such a really good job. They do a very good job of making sure you're understanding what's happening and moving the story forward, but you will not get the full breadth of the story without the other context. It's like asking, do you think I could watch the movie and get the same thing out of it than the book? And I would say you could understand the story, but you won't get 100% of what it is without the original material.
Yeah, that's fair. I agree. I don't think, because like I'm not very well versed in Greek mythology.
I stay away from that demon nonsense.
I have never read the Odyssey. I tried to listen to it, and I think I got like 20-ish% through the audiobook, and it's a lot. It's a lot, and the book itself isn't very entertaining, which I think is why there have been so many different adaptations of it in an attempt to make it more entertaining and a little more digestible. And I know
it's from a different time.
Yeah. And I know them, like Epic, there's things that get cut out. There's like plot lines that don't follow the book exactly. Like there's some stuff with Circe and Calypso that are in the book but aren't in the musical.
Right.
And so, no, I don't think you need any like pre-existing knowledge of like the Odyssey or Greek mythology or anything. And I will say, if you like, and you can give me some feedback on this, what you think. I feel like if you love Disney movies and like the musical style of like older Disney movies, but for some reason you just hate Broadway, I think you will really like Epic.
Yeah, and that's what's interesting is Broadway is slowly becoming more accessible. It used to be this really high art that wasn't in reach for a regular person. And I think a lot of that changed with the internet. And we realized that streaming was an incredible medium for musicals. And you can sit and listen and grasp the story through song. Now, of course, this is what's interesting about Epic though, is I think this is the first time we've ever talked about an audio medium. Is this the first episode we've ever talked about something that is purely auditory?
Yes.
I can't think of another
I think
thing.
it is.
And here's what's interesting is most musicals, you could listen to the Wicked album and get a story out of it, but there's so much that happens in between, like in those talking points in the scenes. And, you could listen to Phantom of the Opera, the album, and know all the songs, but you don't necessarily know the whole story simply by knowing the songs. But this is purely auditory, so the entire story is through the music. The whole story is through that. And I think that that's part of the reason why people gravitate towards it, is because it's this style of, oh, it's powerful and it's emotional, and people love theater. We can dog theater all we want. We can say theater is cringe, theater kids are gross. And there's a longer conversation about that. But I think at the end of the day, what theater music, what Broadway music is offering to people is this raw emotion and storytelling that's completely missing from the rest of our music today. The top 100 songs are not story songs anymore. They're just earworm, poppy, whatever. And that's digestible. There's fun stuff. My favorite songs from Epic are the earworms. So I'm hypocritical by saying that. I'm sorry for saying that. But I would also say that we used to get these Disney movies that had these rich songs that, were diverse in style, and they gave these stories. And we had even big Broadway hits like, Wicked is probably the newest Broadway hit, Wicked and Hamilton, and these big Broadway shows that were telling these huge stories between, all these songs through different styles. It was like, wow, this is moving and it's powerful, and we just don't have that anymore. Disney's not doing that anymore. Broadway's new stuff is really not that great. We tried to do the Ratatouille musical that one time, and it was bad. It was bad. But I think that Epic just hits the nail on the head of what makes a good Broadway show, and I think we're forgetting why we loved that. And I think this is brilliant because the Odyssey is also one of those stories that we don't really realize why we love it. But at the end of the day, it's a story about self-sacrifice and love. And the whole point of the Odyssey is him saying, I don't care what it takes, I'm going home to my family. I don't care what it takes. And there's a lot of interesting conversation that happens within that, going, how far are you willing to go? Because this selfless act of I'm going home turns into a selfish act as he basically sacrifices other people to get what he wants. And that's a really complicated when does a man become a monster story. And I think that's why we gravitate towards this. So I think Epic being this resurgence of big, powerful storytelling music that we've been missing for a decade, and then using this story that is so well connected to people over centuries and merging those things together. I mean, I'm not shocked it was a hit. I'm not, because those things are just perfectly go hand in hand.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way of putting it. And as you were saying that, I was thinking about my original point of if you like Disney movies but hate Broadway, no, that's me.
Yeah.
Because I've never been a huge fan of Broadway, because I've never been able to go actually see a show. And maybe if I did, my opinion would change. But that's why I gravitated towards Hamilton so much, because Hamilton it felt the most accessible because the entire story was contained in all of those songs. You could listen from start to finish and get the entire story of that musical without ever needing to see the stage play, without ever needing to see the Broadway production. And then obviously it's on Disney Plus now, and it actually has a physical Blu-ray release, which cool. I might pick up at some point just to have.
Right.
because it's kind of hard to preserve like a musical like
Right.
that. At least the
The
video
master
version.
cut, yeah.
So I think that's why I gravitated towards Epic so much, because it's like Hamilton in that way, where you can listen from The Horse and the Infant to Would You Fall in Love with Me Again, and that's the entire story of the musical. And it had to be intentionally crafted that way because there is no visual to it.
Right.
It was all a purely like it's called a concept musical
Mm-hmm.
on Spotify. Like, so all of that had to be done intentionally, which
Yeah.
makes me wonder how it's going to be adapted into like a movie,
Right.
because like, what are you going to do, a 2.5 hour long animated movie?
That'd be
Like,
impressive.
it would be impressive, and I think it would pay dividends if it worked out.
Yeah.
But it like, that's kind of unheard of
Yeah, that's a
in
lot.
like Western animation. That's unheard of.
Yeah.
Like Demon Slayer being 2.5 hours long was everyone being like, "Whoa, dude,
Hold
that's
on.
a little long."
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how that gets adapted. But with that like foundation out of the way, I guess I'll go into how I got into Epic, and then you can give me your
Yeah.
thoughts. I actually got into it, aside from the little snippets I'd seen here and there, through my D&D campaign. Shout out all my friends I play D&D with. We were going through our first campaign, and my character was very much, I guess like an Odysseus type character, where he was like, "Oh, I just want to get home. I need to, go find my fiance, and then I'm going home." And I kept saying stuff like, "Oh, I'm just a guy. Like, I'm just a guy. I'm just here." And our DM, she would be like, "That sounds like this part from this song. You should go listen to it." And I was like, "Oh, okay, whatever."
Yeah.
So I went and listened to Just a Man, and I was like, "Oh, shoot, dude, that's kind of a banger. Maybe I should listen to the rest of it." And then I listened to the rest of it, and now here we are. So that's kind of how I got into it. I it's like anything else. You go through ups and downs. Some phases, like, I don't listen to it a ton, and it's, I was thinking about this the other day. It's so interesting how the creator economy works,
Yeah.
because like Jay made this musical, which is obviously generating revenue for him,
Right.
but then other people made animatics, which then helped them build a following, which then got them Patreons and some like split ad revenue, which then
Right.
made them money. Like, and now like there are a couple songs from Epic that I listen to as like inspiration for the stuff I'm working on, like writing wise, which then that will make me money. So it's like the creator economy is so interesting, of like, you can make this thing and then watch how that thing also impacts other people. Like one of the animatic artists I follow, she said like all of the money she's made from her Patreon is helping her go to school. Like,
That's
which is crazy.
That's crazy.
Like,
that is insane. Like,
so
yeah.
aside from me constantly nagging at you to listen to it, how did you get into it? What are your thoughts?
I got into it by you constantly nagging me to listen to it. But I think that this is one of those special projects that could not have existed at another time. And I think that this is one of those niche internet things that I'm glad to be a part of. Even though, 2 years later, it's over. It's been done for 2 years. But they're doing the movie on it, and it's produced. I was just looking this up. It's produced by Jerry Buckheimer, who was a producer on all the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, all the Top Gun movies, was producer on The Amazing Race for like the whole series, CSI, like he does all these high octane like adventure stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, we are so back. So think about if that got a theater release, how big of a deal that would be for creator economy, because it's never been more possible for a YouTube creator, a TikTok creator, an Instagram creator to have a movie theater release. So that's insane. And just having, I think the accessibility is what I keep going back to, is him being like, I'm on TikTok showing you how I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Like, it was a community project that just really blossomed into this really cool thing. So I listened to the whole thing on a drive when I visited. I was at a wedding last 2 weeks ago, I guess 2 weeks ago, and I was able to listen to the whole thing on my drive. Fun fact for any Apple Music listeners out there: the EPs that are air quote in release order on Apple Music are not the order of the musical. I don't know why. That may have been because of the copyright dispute at some point. They couldn't switch the order. So the first time I listened to it in the completely wrong order. So the first time I listened to the Ocean Saga, and then the Cyclops Saga, and then the Troy Saga, and then the Circe Saga. It was like, oh, you're watching it backwards.
Yeah, you're like... You're jumping from 3 to 1 to 4 to 2.
Yes.
Like, you're way out of order.
So once Nick corrected me and I listened front to back in order, I was like, oh, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah, I think I'm really impressed by the quality and the talent that are coming off of this project. And I think that seeing this, it makes you realize that there's so much talent out there in the world that just doesn't get to be seen. Like, Idina Menzel is great, and these other huge Broadway actors are great, and whatever. But then there's really normal, everyday people that hold these incredible skills and talents that just haven't been found yet.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited for the future of, I feel like we're finally like giving them the credit they deserve. I feel like we're finally getting to that point where internet creators are real creators and they're actually getting credit for being really, really talented. But we're just slowly rewriting the Hollywood system that worked for decades, and now we're completely rewriting it with the internet. What I'll say, though, about Epic the Musical, as someone that has done music a long time, you can listen to my music on Jackson Glass, Spotify, whatever. You can tell this took a long time. There was so much work that went into these, just writing and orchestration, whatever. And so I appreciate that. That being said, I think there are some songs that kind of just get swept under the rug. I know that's hard when a lot of them have to be super story focused. And so that kind of makes it harder to focus on the music. And so I think that there are some songs that get lost because they have to move the story along more than be catchy.
Right.
So there's some kind of clunky parts of songs that I'm like, I understand why you had to do this. So I'm not saying it's bad, but it does leave like, these are my favorite songs, and the rest of them I'm not really going to listen to outside of the full concept, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I understand that. And I think I have a playlist of all my favorites, which really is like every song except for half the Ocean Saga. I think My Goodbye, and like there's a couple other songs that aren't on there because they're just like I don't know. I think you're right. It's hard when you're constricted to just audio and you're trying to tell the entire story of the Odyssey in 2.5 hours and like keep moving that story forward. Right. Overall, I think it was great.
Oh, absolutely. I agree.
But I do think you have a point. And I think you made a really good point about how now it's so much easier to like just make things.
Yeah.
Like you think about this has been a really big year for YouTube creators who are now making things that are gaining notoriety and popularity and getting theater releases. You think of like Iron Lung, right, with Markiplier, and the Backrooms, and even the finale of the Digital Circus, like getting put in theaters. Like those were all indie niche, like YouTube, like not Hollywood things that then got propped up to that level, and I feel like Epic is about to get the same thing.
Right.
Where like Epic right now is this niche little, like, some people have heard of it, some people haven't, but the community that's there is very dedicated to it. They are very into Epic the Musical, and that's great.
Yeah.
But now with this animated movie, that opens it up to a wider audience.
Right.
Which I had this thought in the car the other day. I was like, I kind of like that it's a chill, like, niche group. Like the Epic fandom, pretty chill. Like, you guys are chill. You're some of the most, like, chill. We're all just here because we love the music. Type fan base, and I love that because some fandoms are absolutely, like, rancid.
Yeah.
I won't name names, but you know who you are.
But you know who you are. Golly.
And I just had this thought of, like, I want an Epic, like, animated movie, and that would be really cool. But do we really want to open it up to the wider audience?
You're like, should I gatekeep? This is what's really hard, is when you're like, this is so good.
No one should ever watch this.
No one should ever watch it because you're going to ruin it. Like, I want everyone to watch this and no one to ruin it.
It's like my walled off garden of, like,
yes.
All right. What are you really coming in here for?
Yeah. Like, I don't want to, because this is so good and I want you to hear it. But also, it don't make it this thing that it's not.
Right. Like, don't come in and change it. I mean, there's age-old meme of, like, the guy at the door where he's like, join the hobby, change the hobby. And he's like the bouncer. He's like, I'm not letting you in if you want to change. If you want to come listen and hang out with us, that's great. You want to change Epic? That's not cool.
Right. So, and that's selfish. That's, greedy. But I'm also like, I know how the internet works. I know that the second it becomes mainstream, you become ravenous.
Yeah, and you see it with anime all the time.
Yeah, it's
like the My Hero fan base is awful. And I say that as someone who's in it. Like, I love My Hero. You guys know that.
That's what's tough is, it is this really, really impressive piece of art, and you want it to stay appreciated as that. But the second projects become more, air quote, mainstream and more, in the public eye, they're open to more scrutiny. And you could make a case, just like every other musical, every other Disney movie, every other whatever. I could see a future where there's this large group of people that are like, well, Epic's cringe because it's
going to happen.
And it's going to happen. And there's some songs that I think are better than others. And I think that we're also in this really interesting era where Broadway musicals are switching to sound more like popular music, where the original big Broadway, Les Mis, Phantom of the Opera, oh gosh, my mind is blank. Even like some of the Rodgers and Hammerstein Carousel, stuff like that, The King and I. Those old Broadway shows were entirely based on orchestral arrangements. And it was the full orchestra, and it was the pit, and you're going to the theater, and the orchestra's in the pit, and the people are singing, and they're telling a story through that. It is like the ultimate art form, because it's video, audio, musical, like it's everything coming together. It's acting, it's singing, it's dancing, it's even like, we watched Hello Dolly for the first time I'd ever seen it. You know how freaking hard that movie was probably to make? And those old, huge, like, Sound of Music type, they're fully choreographed, usually 3 hours long. They're all singing, they're all dancing, they're in full costume on these huge sets. Like, this is crazy. We would look at this now and be like, that's way too expensive. I'm never making that. I'm like, they made it in 1968. Like, what are you talking about? So I could see a lot of people being almost purist towards musicals like this. They go, well, where's the orchestra? Well, it's there. Oh, but it's kind of poppy, but it's like, oh, I don't know about that. And I could see that becoming a thing, but also, Mamma Mia is one of the biggest musicals of all time. That's all ABBA. That's disco music.
Do you think Hamilton contributed to the
Yes.
popification of musicals like this? Because Hamilton was wildly successful, still on Broadway. They're still obviously still selling the Blu-rays. Put it on Disney Plus like 6 years ago. Like it's still going. They just put it in theaters last year for the 10th anniversary, I think. Like I would be remiss if we didn't mention like the Hamiltonification of Broadway. And I think there's room for both. Yeah. Like I think we should have that orchestral, like bringing in all of these great performers and singers, and like theater still has a place in the world. Like I don't think every Broadway musical should be this like super upbeat, catchy, poppy, like, you know, oh yeah, we got 'em. In the same way that I don't think every movie should be like an anime movie.
Right.
Like it depends on the story you're trying to tell, the audience you're going for. Like obviously this is a very like modern in a sense take on the Odyssey, which is something that's really old. Like and that's what Hamilton was. It was a modern like popification of American history.
Right.
There is something to say for like music teaching you things though, because I know way more about the Revolution from Hamilton than I do American history class.
Right.
Like, so I think there's a way to balance it.
Yeah.
And I'd love to hear what you thought of this musical as someone who makes music and understands a little more of like the technical side of like motifs and like all of that. I would love to know what you thought, because that's not me. I'm like, oh, that sounds good. Cool. That's a banger.
Yeah. I think that kind of like we said earlier, Epic the Musical starts off as something and ends as something else. And I don't know if that's a hot take. I don't know if that's a different opinion. But this is what happens when you are still learning and you're releasing one at a time, where you listen to, personally, this is my personal opinion. If you disagree, it's totally fine. Listening to it, you also have to understand, I listened to this for the podcast. I was listening with a, what's the word I'm looking for?
With an intention to review?
Yes, I was listening with an intention to review. And so I think I watched it slowly get higher quality as it went on, because, you know, he started this project as his senior thesis. And so you listen to the first Saga, you're like, oh, this is really good. And then they slowly get higher quality. The vocals start to sound better. They're tuned a little cleaner. There are some moments where I'm like, you guys are tuned. Like, and here's the thing. Oh my gosh, the vocals are tuned. I'm going to kill myself. It's right. No, literally everyone tunes vocals. It's literally not, it's not a problem. Okay. Literally everyone on Spotify is tuning vocals. Okay. It's literally not a problem. Now, Broadway performers are not. I will say that. If you're on stage and you're singing Broadway, that's what you sound like. And that's why Broadway is so powerful, is because you're like, oh, they're genuinely just that good. And so I think you kind of have to listen to Epic the Musical knowing it is a bedroom project. It is still just this small group of people that love what they're doing. And I don't think that should detract from how much you love it. I don't say that to be like, hey, it's bad. I think that's a really cool thing to see someone's project, especially as a creator. I think it's really cool to see someone's project slowly improve over time as they figure out what they're doing, as they grow in their abilities, and clearly just slowly grow more passionate about it because they're putting in more effort and more work and honing their craft to make sure it's as the best it could be. So I think from a writing perspective, like I said, there's some songs I think are a little clunky. Not that they're bad, but I think they just don't flow as well. And there's an example, the example that I think is Keep Your Friends Close is one that just kind of bothers me. I don't think that it was set up for success, because I think that the melody just doesn't really land super well within the music, and I think that's one that I just doesn't work for me. as well. And that's fine. I don't think it's a bad song at all. I just think some of the writing was a little clunkier to move the story along. And they have to do that. It's a constraint of what they're doing. But also remember, they're not professionals. This isn't like Andrew Lloyd Webber creating another musical. These are like college grads. Like these are young creators that are finding their voices. And you need to understand, in that context, this is an amazing piece of art. This is phenomenal. It's kind of like, the Backrooms movie is really good movie. And then you're like, oh, he directed this at freaking 19. It's a really good movie for someone who directed it at 19.
Right.
Where it's like, I think you can't do that. I think you can't. And this is where I'm also kind of scared about the future of this growing and more, is some people would see that and go, this is such a mainstream project. Why is it clunky? Why is it not perfect? When it's a smaller project and it's niche, that people that fully understand the context, they go, oh, this is really impressive for what you've done. This is really cool. And I'm really, really excited to see their future of what he continues to create, the people he gets to work with, hoping that, everyone that worked on this project can be surrounded with older people that can pour into them and help them grow in this skill, in this craft. Overall, I'll say I was very impressed musically. I mean, it sounds like a complete musical. It's so not YouTube-y,
Yeah, because you think about, compare it to
the Ratatouille
musical, which also was big on TikTok.
Bad.
Now here's the
sounded bad.
I think here's the problem. They're like, the only common denominator is that they are a musical adaptation of something that already existed that happened to get big on TikTok. That is the only, because the Ratatouille musical was very independent. Like, it was Too Many Cooks in the Kitchen, which is a really
clever.
Because it was like, well, I'm going to make this song, and I'm going to make this song, and I'm going to make this song.
Right.
Whereas Epic was him going through and doing all of these songs, but bringing the TikTok audience along for the ride, which then got them invested in what he was creating, how he was creating it. Like, I've watched a couple of his videos before I got off Instagram.
Yeah.
Of talking about well, sometimes you can hear it depending on what headphones you're listening with or whatever, but in Hold Them Down, when Telemachus is fighting the suitors, he put the piano notes of Little Wolf in there.
Yeah,
I didn't notice that on the first go around. Listening to him talk about all of the intentional work and care and effort that he put into this, especially in the AI age we live in. Check off the box. We talked about AI on an episode again. Where it's so easy for you to go to an AI and be like, write me this song with this melody with these lyrics, go.
Right.
And I mean, it'll spit something out that doesn't sound awful.
Right.
But it'll never have that same human touch to it.
Right.
An AI would never think to put that little piano riff in there. It would never think to do recurring motifs for different characters. Odysseus is a guitar. Every time he comes up, there's that little do-do-do-do-do-do. That's his thing.
And I do appreciate that a lot. There is some very intentional motif movements over the whole thing. The connections and it all comes together. That's what makes it feel like a cohesive project. It's not this EP, this saga. It's part 1, part 2, part 3. They're all connected. They're all connected in this amazing, really beautiful way. And that's why the storytelling was so good. Really, really love that. Every once in a while, listen, I was watching the Odyssey yesterday, and I just, in my head, I'm just going, Penelope. This is so funny.
And I think it's great, kind of like what I was saying with how Broadway should have, the more orchestral, classic Phantom of the Opera type, but then also have stuff like Hamilton, have stuff like Epic. I think it's great that we live in a world where we can have Christopher Nolan's really dark, gritty, like serious adaptation of the Odyssey, and then we can have Epic, which is a little like, obviously it covers some of the like darker stuff,
right?
But in a very different way. Like, it is nowhere near as dark or serious as that,
right?
Despite telling the story really well. So I'll ask you this: how did you feel about the story of Epic? Like, just how it was worked through the musical, like just from a storytelling perspective.
Yeah, I think that it was. I think it was done well. I don't really have a lot of notes. I'm more just like, I think on the first listen you kind of like aren't fully following. The second time I listened through, I was like, oh, okay. This, I understand now. I kind of see where the pieces are coming together. So I think they did an incredible job. My only thing, I don't know if this is a story note or more of a music note, I wish the ending was stronger. Like,
really?
I do. Because I notice how nothing from the Ithaca saga made our draft. None of the...
That's not true.
Really? Oh, you had hold them down. You had hold them down. I wish that the Ithaca saga almost punched me a little harder. I wish that emotion came out a little more. And Would You Fall in Love with Me Again is a really good song. That's how the Odyssey ends. That's not, whatever. But I feel like after listening to 2.5 hours of this story, I should have been weeping by the end. And in the Odyssey, I did get emotional at the end. Like in Christopher Nolan's version, I got emotional at the end. And this was a version where it ended and I was like, that was really good. I'm really impressed. But I wasn't like, wow, like that's crazy. Like this. So I don't know, like I need to just listen again or be in a different headspace or whatever. But the ending did not punch me in a way that I wish it could have. In a way that other Broadway shows have done. Like I think the end of Hamilton is very emotional.
Mm-hmm.
Especially seeing it live. Like I saw Hamilton live last year and it was just mind blowing. It was so good. And even not the end of Wicked, but the end of the first act of Wicked, if you know what I mean. The end of Frozen, the end of Shrek, like even those music, I feel like musicals need to end on like a huge boom, like emotional punch. And this just wasn't that for me. I don't know if we needed like an epilogue or what. Like that's not in the story, so I understand, but that's just how I felt.
Yeah, that's fair. I really like the story. I feel like Odysseus is kind of, I don't want to say simple because that makes it sound bad, but he's like a really easy character to follow.
Right. Relatable.
Yeah, and I think
too constantly just want to go home to my wife.
Dude, so real. I don't want to be at work. I want to go home. But I half agree with you on the Ithaca saga. I feel like when I first listened to it, I was a little like, "Oh, that's it? Like it's over. Okay, so this is the last song. All right." Like, but it didn't feel unsatisfying. It didn't feel like, oh, I need more. It was more like, oh, that's the end.
Yeah.
Like, and then of course my Spotify loop is on, so we just go all the way back to the beginning.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, whoa, hold on, we're not going back to war. I think I might be misremembering. I think there was a song in the Ithaca saga that got cut. Yeah. Or maybe it was somewhere else. I know Penelope had her own song before the challenge.
Right.
She was supposed to have 2 and 1 got cut. I don't remember where it's at. And I think Ithaca specifically, it's almost like unclear the time jump between the Vengeance saga and the Ithaca saga. Like, is this a day? Is this an hour? Is this a month?
Yeah.
Not that it really matters, but like I feel like it was done so well establishing the time jumps everywhere else of like, oh, well, by the time we get to Cersei, it's been 12 years since he left. And then, by the time we get to Or no, even in the very first song, it's like, okay, we've been here for 10 years, so he's been gone for 10 years. And then by the time we get to Cersei, it's been 12. And then by Legendary, it's 20.
Right.
So I don't know. Maybe there could have been a little better timeline there. But I'm like, I don't know. Maybe this is just me being too like consumer. But I'm like, I'm struggling to find like things I disliked about the story.
Yeah.
Because I was like, it's just good.
It's just like, a good story. And I'd also say the Odyssey is just a great story. Like,
there's a reason we've made so many different adaptations of this story.
It's just really good. And so I kind of have no notes on the story. I think they told it really well. Like, good job, guys. Like, love that. I think more people need to talk about it. Like, I wouldn't have known that this existed if you hadn't shared with me.
Which is why we're doing a podcast. Which is
why we're doing a podcast about it. Are we ready to rank?
I think we're ready to rank. I think that's everything we've got. All right, bear with us, listeners. This is the first time we've ever tried to do a screen share on Riverside.
I will now use the Force to screen share.
Hopefully you're able to see the tier list. That's the plan.
If not,
I'm cooked.
If the video suddenly goes black, that's what happened.
Okay.
All right.
Can you
can see that. I can see that.
Okay. Hopefully the recording can see that. If not,
sorry.
It sucks. All right. So we got our typical SADBC. Wait, that's not right. SABCD.
There you go.
I said it wrong the first time.
A, B, C,
all right.
D.
So are we? Well, we're gonna do this where we have to agree.
Yeah.
We can't do the wishy-washy. I don't agree. I do agree. Whatever.
So we need to agree, and also don't just throw everything in S. Like S is coveted.
No, we have to both agree that it goes in S.
Yeah.
I think that was the typical rule we followed. All right.
Yeah.
So the Troy Saga.
The Troy Saga.
That's the start. That's where we start. I'm thinking Horse and the Infant, Just a Man, Full Speed Ahead, Open Arms.
Ahead. Warrior of the Mind.
Warrior of the Mind. I keep forgetting about that one.
Full Speed Ahead.
I'm thinking A.
A? I like A.
Okay.
I think I'm into A.
A, I think is good.
A.
The Cyclops Saga. Am I wrong to say B? Were you gonna go lower?
I was gonna go lower.
Oh. Because wait, what's the Cyclops? It's Polyphemus, Survive, Remember Them, and My Goodbye.
Yeah.
Which, like, those first three are really solid. Like.
Yeah, but they're not ones I'm going back to.
Right. Yeah,
Remember Them is good.
But really, I really only like the end of that song where he's like, "Remember me."
Yeah. And I was like, Coca? Ernesto de la Cruz? Remember me. I'm going C.
C? All right. I can be persuaded.
Because also understand none of them are bad. It's more just where do they rank? Like, usually C tier's like, oh, good heavens. Where this time it's like, it's not bad. It's just not as in comparison.
Yeah. The Ocean Saga.
So Storm is really good.
Storm is great.
Storm. Luck Runs Out is one of my favorites. But Keep Your Friends Close. I have beef with Keep Your Friends Close. I don't like that song. I felt like
Ruthlessness is also good.
It is good.
Ruthlessness is mercy upon ourselves. I'm thinking high C, like above Psych. I don't know about that one.
Do we go B?
You were gonna go B? I was like content with keeping it in C.
You go high C?
Yeah.
Keep it in the orange juice.
Is it better than Cyclops?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
High C.
High C. Cersei?
Cersei? I go A.
Easy.
I could go S for Cersei. I could.
I don't know if I could. Okay. What is that? Puppeteer.
Wouldn't you like Done For? There Are Other Ways. There Are Other Ways is so good. I want to waltz to that song.
I love when he's like, 12 long years since I have seen my wife. Now the god of tides is out to end my life.
Also, Done For, the way that it fades into There Are Other Ways.
True.
Is
all right.
really good.
All right. I'll give it
S tier.
I'll give it S.
Wouldn't you like a taste of the power? Wouldn't you like to know what they were?
All right. The Underworld Saga, S.
I'll go S.
S.
I know.
Bro.
It's only 3 songs, and oops, all bangers.
All bangers. Like every single one of them.
I cannot even
all
lie.
Killer, no filler. Better than Cersei?
No.
Really?
No.
I would say it is.
You're
telling me oops, all bangers, all killer, no filler is better than an arc or a saga that has like, you're not like oops, all bangers, all killer, no filler?
Fine. You make a compelling argument. I'll put Underworld at S.
The Thunder Saga? B? Because that's different. Nope.
Suffering.
That's Suffering, Different Beast, Scylla, Mutiny, and Thunderbringer. It's the longest one so far.
Yeah.
But that also makes sense. It's the end of Act 1. See, Scylla's good. Not my favorite. Different Beast and Suffering are good, really especially good. How they tie together. I like Mutiny, but really only the first half.
Yeah, Thunderbringer is like...
It's good. I don't think it's bad.
Do we go mid-C?
Mid-C? I was going to say B.
I mean, Different Beast is really good.
Yeah.
I'm okay with B.
All right.
Thunder Saga and B. The Wisdom Saga.
Ooh.
This legendary little wolf will be fine. Love in Paradise and God Games.
Oh, dude, the back half carries so hard.
That's true.
Love in Paradise and God Games goes crazy, especially back to back.
Yeah.
But the front half, that's not to doubt my little telemarketing. But you know,
God Games is really good.
I think B under Thunder.
Yeah, low B.
Low B.
Okay, The Vengeance Saga.
D.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's the weakest out of all of them.
I kind of agree.
It feels like the only section of Vengeance that I actually really like is Get in the Water.
I was about to say
that. And
that.
then 600 Strike, because it's the conclusion of Odysseus and Poseidon's like whole arc, or like their enemies type thing.
That's the saga that I think had to be more story heavy, and the music suffered for it.
Yes, because it has to get Odysseus from God Games to the challenge. It has to be the bridge to get them there, and I think that makes it weaker. So I'm going to put it in B.
All right,
Ithaca.
The Ithaca Saga.
I'm going to say A.
I can agree, because Hold Them Down, the challenge. When You Fall in Love with Me Again, like, I'd say low A. I think that the Troy Saga is still better, but I think that it's not like low.
Yeah,
you know?
That's real.
This is such a perfect, like, what a beautiful little ranking right here.
Yeah, what a nice little 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and then 1.
Poor soul.
For all of our audio listeners, because I know there's a ton of you, in D tier we have the Vengeance Saga. In C tier, the Cyclops Saga and the Ocean Saga. In B, Wisdom Saga, and then Thunder Saga. A is Ithaca Saga and Troy Saga, and then in S tier is the Cersei Saga and the Underworld Saga. I feel like that's a good. This is like the most we've ever agreed on.
I know, I agree.
This was the calmest, chillest tier list we've ever done.
Normally, a tier list is like where you start an argument.
Yeah, it's like we're at each other's throats. Like, how dare you put the Rise of Skywalker in A tier? That's an F tier Shadow Realm.
There's also not even a Shadow Realm, because even the D tier is like still.
It's still good. Like, it's not even that. It's like none of them are bad, and that's what we talked about.
Get in the water.
All right, I'm taking the tier list away. Hopefully, I don't break Riverside.
Hopefully that worked for you.
Hopefully you can see that. If not, I'll put the graphic on screen if it didn't work.
If it didn't work.
But I trust Riverside. We're not paying for it for no reason.
What am I paying you for? Well,
something.
Guys, thank you for listening to this episode of the Nerdiest Podcast, all about Epic the Musical. Go listen to Epic the Musical. It's literally free on streaming platforms. I guess it's not free because you pay for streaming platforms. But
I mean, it's free on YouTube.
It's free on YouTube. Go listen on YouTube, streaming platforms. It's a really great project. We're happy to support. And hopefully we can review the movie someday. Hopefully that movie will come out.
Yeah, we're in on the ground floor here.
We're hoping that, this is an early investment. And everyone's like, oh, I got invited to this premiere, the premiere of, the Odyssey, the premiere. Hey, man, it premiered on Friday, and I went to my local theater on Friday. Like,
I was basically there.
I was basically
at the premiere. I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyway, if you like this episode, make sure you share it with a friend that you think would enjoy to spread the word on Epic the Musical and spread the word on the Nerdiest Podcast. All the links are in the description down below. Huge, huge shout out to our YouTube members. We love our YouTube members. Biggest to Retro Plaid Guy, Day One, Nazi Shrine, Andy A, and Jessica Carnes. You guys are awesome. You guys are super awesome.
Thank you for joining what is now called, I changed the name of the membership.
We changed the name.
Welcome to the live studio audience.
Welcome to the live studio audience.
You can become a member, join the live studio audience.
Review of Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey coming on the Nerdiest after show.
Yeah, if Epic was not your flair of Odyssey adaptation, fret not after show.
Also, comment down below if we should review the SpongeBob SquarePants movie.
Which is another adaptation of the Odyssey.
Another adaptation of the Odyssey. Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou? I don't like that movie. Hot take, I don't like that movie. Anyway, thank you for listening. All the links are in the description. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. All our personal links are down there as well. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you in the next episode. But until then, bye!